Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the revamped Downtown Coolsville with your co-host Jacob Marsqueezy and I, Daniel.
Hi, I'm Jacob Marsqueezy.
Mm-hmm. After a long and out of nowhere hiatus, we are back.
A very sudden hiatus. We just stopped.
And it wasn't even.
It wasn't even for any
we
reason.
just had
we just
we
stopped.
just had a problem with an
We had
episode, and
one
we
tiny
never got back
technical
to it.
problem, and I just
It's not
gave
even a
up.
problem.
I completely gave up. It was like I messed up a tiny little thing, and I had to redo it, and I just stopped. Like I just never went back to it. So it's Daniel's fault.
Not really. I mean, you're editor, but whatever.
Well,
so we are back. And this episode's gonna be a little different, a little new. If anything, we were calling this season 2, episode 1.
Really, it's like a podcast pitch. If anything, we're kind of just throwing everything out there.
Pretty much. So what's new, I guess, is we really started up again because I got new equipment and Jacob is too, but it's not in just yet.
Yeah.
So for the old listeners, I'm sure you guys can tell a difference in the quality of my microphone. At least Jacob says it's a lot different.
Yeah, at least on my end, Daniel sounds so clear now. He sounds I don't know, the levels in his voice are so crisp.
Yeah. So another reason why we haven't really uploaded so much is because I got a job. So I've been working like 40 hours a week. So, but because of that, I was able to get this really nice microphone and interface and really set up a good setup.
Yeah, it's great because the reason we had time to do the podcast was because I had lost my job. Now Daniel's got a job.
Well, I mean, now we have school.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you know how many hours you're doing?
15.
Oh, I think I'm doing 16 or 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be exhausted.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a part-time job now again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why I started looking once school started.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably the worst.
It's kind of stupid.
Time to look.
Yeah, but
hey, you never know.
But I need some money.
Never know.
But yeah, so we're just jumping back into it, giving it a fresh start, giving it some gas. Hopefully, we get this thing rolling again.
Yep.
Yeah. So Daniel, like he said, he's got his new mic and interface little setup. I've ordered mine. I think my mic comes in Monday. We're recording this on a Friday. But the interface I ordered is actually back ordered, and it's the exact same interface as Daniel's, except it's blue. Now Daniel's is black. If I get the black one, I would have had my interface by Monday, which makes I was sort of triggered when I found that out. I'm still a little angry about that.
It's because they have to hand paint it.
What?
It's because they have to hand paint
it. They're freaking sweatshops. Their little Chinese kids have to go hand paint it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just give it to me in black and let the kids rest. But I guess I've got some equipment that might work as an audio interface. I've got like a small little mixer for a turntable that I use, which might work, and I'll just figure that all out when we get there. But yeah, so this episode has that small upgrade with Daniel, and we're just going to be talking about the podcast in general.
Yeah, kind of the future, what we plan with it, but also it's all of it is open to suggestions.
Yeah, we kind of want this. I mean, personally, I want this to grow a bit.
Yeah.
Not really for any particular reason other than I think it's fun and interesting. And to have any sort of following behind it would be nice. Like even if it's just like 20 consistent listeners or something. And if you are going to be a person who is going to consistently listen or even just tune in from time to time, if there's something that you think would make the podcast better or something you want to see or hear,
or something that brings you back.
Yeah, something that you think would make you a consistent listener, just let us know. Because I'm sure Dana feels the same. I do this because I think it's fun. And also I feel like if someone else is getting entertainment out of it, then that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I started streaming a few months ago, and I haven't in like a month and a half or so. But I only had like at most I had maybe 4 viewers at a time. Once I had 9, I think, but it was only like 2 or 3. But I had this one guy in France,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember
he
this.
kept yeah, and he kept coming every single time I would go live. He would always be watching. And it was great. It was an amazing feeling. And we would talk, and it was great. So I take pleasure in kind of being able
Just
to
having
entertain.
someone there who
Yeah,
actually enjoys just watching you, or I
right.
guess listening to you do something that you enjoy.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I don't. I guess it's weird to say it's fun. We're just talking, but there's an aspect of it that's very entertaining, for us at
No,
least.
definitely. Yeah.
And I feel like Daniel and I, and so we talk about this a lot. Who proposed the podcast idea? And I don't want to. I don't want to debate it now, but
Hmm.
regardless, I think Daniel and I have always, when we've had classes together, we've always just sat and talked about the dumbest stuff, and we're always just sitting there laughing.
Yeah.
Um, I know we have known each other for 4 years,
Hmm.
and in our last year of high school, we had Spanish together. Not just
Yeah.
Spanish, but we had Spanish. And in that class, it was fairly laid back. You could take it at your own pace, and we were doing all right in that class, so we didn't have to like super focus or anything.
Hmm.
So we would. Oh no, that was not last year. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah. So and we would just screw around and talk about the dumbest stuff and do the dumbest stuff in that class. And I'm pretty sure that's when the podcast idea came up, wasn't it, in Spanish?
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
in Spanish.
So
Hmm.
I don't know. I've always had fun just screwing around with Daniel. I don't
I
know what it
remember
is that talking to Daniel gets me saying the stupidest stuff.
we last year, if you remember, we went to Whataburger after school one
Yeah,
day.
Whataburger, but okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm
we went
sorry.
to Whataburger, and God, I don't know, we were just talking about the stupidest
I
things. We were
just,
laughing
oh
so
god.
hard, and I remember saying like, yeah, we should have been recording this whole entire conversation. Like, this is
Hmm.
great. Like, just kind of the way we go off each other, I think, is
Yeah, I think we can riff pretty well
yeah,
sometimes. So, but yeah, anyways, let's just I
yeah. Let's
guess
get
let's
into it.
transition into what we were talking about. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about on this first little pilot pitch type thing
Mhm.
was segment ideas. So first off, I mean, we definitely want to hear ideas from you guys.
Mhm.
Obviously, we're just two randos who felt like doing a podcast. So we're not like super in tune with what people want or what they want to hear. So if you guys, like we were saying earlier, if you have suggestions on anything, like a
Right.
segment, for example, then just let us know, because I also just want to try new things and see
Mhm.
what works for me. Like if I
No,
think it's
definitely.
gonna be fun, then I'm definitely gonna do it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know if Daniel, do you have any segment ideas that you've
Um,
been thinking up or anything like that?
no, I don't think so.
I've
My
just got, oh yeah, sorry,
No, I was just gonna say my main thing is writing down the
the bullet
bullet
points.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, that's
go
always
ahead.
been. No, yeah, that's. I'm glad. Dan, just before this, Daniel was saying, "All right, let's make some bullet points for this podcast so we know what we
Hmm.
want to cover." And I said, "All right, I'm recording."
Yeah.
So
So,
I've never been one for keeping on track. Daniel's very good at that. He's the one in the podcast. Sometimes he's a little more quiet, but he's definitely the one who's always keeping us on track, thankfully. But for segment ideas, I was thinking, and we've done some of these a couple of times, but I think I want to make them more solidified and have like a small portion of the podcast. Oh, well, one thing I want to say is that Daniel and I were talking, and we want to keep the podcast like short and simple. We
yeah.
don't want it to drag on too much because, like I said before, we're kind of amateurs at this. We're not anyone really special or important. We don't need over an hour at
Yeah.
the hour at the most. We don't need more than that to talk about whatever we want to talk about. So we were talking
Mhm.
about, like Daniel says, he makes bullet points and making a general outline of what we want in a like 45-minute time period, maybe.
Right.
So yeah, like
I
I was
think
saying, some of these segments just like give them like a little allotted time period.
right.
But there's some things we've done before that were sort of like segments, I think, and I was
Hmm.
wanting to finalize them into a segment idea, like the dreams, where we talked about dreams.
Hmm.
We did that with a couple of people where I we would ask them like, what was a weird dream you remember? I think we could expand on that a little, on that concept. Like we could have a person come like with a dream beforehand, and then we could like talk to them about that specific dream,
Right.
and like analyze that like we're some sort of armchair psychiatrist or something. um and kind of just joke around about their dream or whatever, or we could just generally talk about our dreams. Because I mean, personally, I don't really dream very much. I mean, I know I dream. I don't remember my dreams hardly ever.
Right.
When I'm asleep, it just feels like black, like darkness. So I think that's also an interesting thing. Like, well, I don't know. That's just dreams are just such a strange concept.
Yeah. Well, I was in psychology last semester.
Okay, here we go again.
No, I was just gonna say that no one actually really knows the reason why we dream. There's a lot of different theories. I think there's 7 different theories on why, like 7 set theories that everyone follows. But no one actually really knows why we dream.
Well, if this is a simulation, or not a simulation, but perhaps everything. Did I just say perhaps? What the heck? Maybe everything, like when people say destiny or whatever, instead of like everything's supposed to happen, maybe it's like we're living in like a scripted world. Like we're NPCs with really crappy coding, and we have to stick to like the same track. You know how NPCs like walk along certain pathways?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it's like. So when you dream, it's like you're getting a glimpse of a possible pathway that's coded in. That's like not gonna, except for like when you're like flying, you're being chased by a dinosaur or whatever. That's just, your coding's just screwed up at that point.
You never know.
But whenever, like I've had a dream where I woke up, went to school, was talking to my friends, walking through the hallway, and then there was this weird sound, and I was like, "You guys hear that?" And they're like, "What the heck are you talking about?" And then I woke up. It was so weird. So maybe that was like I was looking into the future. Whoa, on a possible pathway.
I have had dreams that have come true the next day.
Such as?
I actually had a streak for a few days.
A dream streak where like everything would come true.
Yeah. Well, not everything, but I would have a dream about something specific. Like I did something with someone, or it was when I was dating someone, and the things that we normally wouldn't do would happen. Like our first kiss, I dreamt that the day before, and I wasn't the one that made that move.
When it comes to things like that, I always hear people say like manifest this or that. Like,
yeah,
if you really want that, then manifest it. I've heard people say that. I don't really. There's someone that I talk to, like a friend of mine that I want to bring on, and I think they sort of have a mindset like that, where they're into that sort of stuff, like astrology. Yeah. I always get the two mixed up.
Astronomy, the stars.
But like, yeah, like astrology and like the universe and destiny and all that. And I kind of want to bring them on. Yeah, exactly. And talk to them about that stuff, because that whole manifest thing, like how you're saying it now, it kind of sounds like you could have, I don't know, put some sort of energy out into the universe that brought that to be. But I don't really believe in that sort of stuff, but like I think about it.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I kind of take all that with a grain of salt. How I mean is like whenever you, for example, I've been really getting into cars, and so the first like few cars I was really looking at, I would all of a sudden see them all the time, everywhere in person. And that's the case for anything. You know, you think of the number 4 and you're talking about it a lot, you're gonna find it everywhere. It's just because it's on your mind. And I guess in terms of my dream, it's a little different because, like I said, I didn't make that first move. That wasn't me. It just kind of happened. But it's definitely interesting how you can put that out there.
Yeah. And speaking of that, the like you talk about 4 a lot, you're going to see the number 4. There's this thing, I don't remember the exact name. I think it's the Tetris effect or something, where these people, like these high-level championship type Tetris players or whatever, they sit there and they play Tetris for so long that when they dream and when they're going about their day, they see Tetris shapes, because obviously everything in our world is just shapes, right?
Yeah.
But they sit there and they play Tetris for so long, and they see those like small like 2x2 cubes, or the L's or the whatever, right? And I think that's like, yeah, when you put something in your mind consistently, it's something that you notice more often. I think that's just obviously it's logical, but sometimes it's sort of strange.
Yeah,
Same with
definitely.
like ghosts, you know.
Hmm.
I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm afraid of them, right?
Hmm.
That's what I've heard someone say before.
Hmm.
But people who believe in ghosts obviously see ghosts more than people who don't,
Right.
because they are looking for those small
Right.
signs that could
Right.
indicate a ghost.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that's just so interesting. Like, and when it comes to a
Psychology.
dream,
Yeah.
and when we say I dreamt something and then it happened,
Yeah.
a first kiss isn't that crazy of a thing to dream of and have it happen the day
Hmm.
after. It's just a thing that can happen any day. That's like
Right.
coincidence at that point.
Right.
But there's also that aspect that maybe you put something out there, or maybe it was supposed, it's just
Hmm.
so much weird stuff when it comes to dreams. Like, there's just no true understanding or concept of like the future either. Like, that's all
Right.
just, oh, I just punched the microphone. Sorry. That's all just like guess and check.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
No,
so
that's
weird.
true. Yeah. All right. I was trying to make that smooth, but
Speaking of the future,
speaking of the future, what were we? Oh,
we
right.
were talking about
Um,
the segments and the future of the podcast and stuff.
one thing we're definitely doing now, um, is we are recording our own separate audios. Because at first Jacob would record his audio and
Yeah.
then also the audio of me
Of
and the
just
other
Discord, like
guest,
what I
or
was
yeah,
getting through
on
Discord.
Discord. And it didn't necessarily pose huge problems, but it, because of, latency issues and just in terms of quality straight through Discord, you're not going to get the best just audio quality. So what we're doing, at least for me and Jacob, we'll figure out what to do with a guest in the future, but we're
Yeah, that's
we're
gonna be the
recording.
tricky part. But
Yeah, that'll be hard,
I
but
could just record the guest Discord audio, but I also want them to come in clear. I want to hear what they're saying. And I
right.
want people who listen to hear what they're saying and
Hmm.
whatnot.
We can figure it out.
Yeah, it's not an immediate threat, or I
Turn off your
guess
phone, Jacob. We're recording.
what do you say? Oh,
Turn
did you
off your
hear that?
phone. Yeah.
It was like right next to the mic. It vibrated. Sorry.
No, it's messing with
I've been playing games on my phone the whole time now. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Well, continue what you were saying. It was more important, I think.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to make sure that we give you guys the best quality experience that we can. So again, we're recording separate audio lines, getting better equipment, things like that. Just to make it smoother and easier to listen to. And then, like Jacob said, we're setting not like time limits, but we want to keep it
A general
between,
outline, yeah.
yeah, like between a 45 to max hour minute mark. Hour minute hour
Hour minute
hour
mark.
minute mark, 45-minute to an hour mark. Um, what else? I'm definitely, as I said, I've been doing this for years. Although this time it's a little
Okay.
different. Whenever I would, sometimes I would wake up at like 2 in the morning, and I would have just a crazy, like, I don't know, something would pop into my head, and I would write it down on my notepad. But sometimes it'd be very
Oh,
vague, and a lot of people like knew kind of about that, and so after a week we'd go back and look at what I would write, and it would just be funny. And so now whenever I'm kind of in my day to day, if I think of a talking point or something, I write it down to the best that I can. I mean,
yeah.
the other
And
day I was, go ahead.
let me just jump in real quick, and before we move on or anything or get too far from it. Speaking of the you waking up and writing things, at
Mhm.
the end of our episodes in the past, I don't know about all of them, but at least I know in the trailer, it says Downtown Coolsville, a bottom triangle production.
Oh yeah.
And that's like our fake little production company.
Hmm.
And bottom triangle is one of the things that Daniel
Yeah.
wrote, and we just have no clue what that means at
Yeah.
all.
Not even, it was, I mean, it was just one notepad. It wasn't like a string or anything. It was just bottom triangle.
I
I
think
don't
there's
even know what it means.
there's an episode of Seinfeld like that. I just
Oh
thought
really?
about that. Yeah, he wakes up in the middle of the night and the TV's on, and
Hmm.
he writes down like a joke or something. Or is that Seinfeld? I think it is. And then they try to like figure out what he's talking about.
I don't know. Um, I don't have. I mean, I would read them, but I don't have it anymore because I switched phones and then.
Oh, you got a new phone?
Well, it was on my old Android. I've had this iPhone
Oh,
for
yeah.
almost a year, but it was on my old Android, and I didn't
Excuse
had
me.
it restarted, but I lent it to my cousin, and so I had to restart it, and so I lost all that, which was fine. I mean, it wasn't anything important. It was stupid stuff, but
Yeah.
um, mm,
Man, I forgot what I was
um,
just about to say. You go on.
so for those that normally listen to this podcast or have listened to this podcast in the past, we normally have a guest. Um, but those guests are sometimes scheduled like a day ahead of whenever we record. Sometimes we've recorded day of that we would
Sometimes,
post.
yeah, not even an hour ahead of
Yeah.
advance.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we've wanted someone on and weren't able to get in contact with them, so we just texted someone,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, we're about to record the podcast. Just join in if you want."
Yeah.
And it's worked out, but it could definitely. I think I know, Daniel. I think I know where you're going with this, but you can go ahead and explain it.
Well, I was gonna go ahead and say that for those that know us, definitely hit us up on Instagram or wherever you have us. Let us know if you want to be on the podcast.
And
Um,
yeah, if you don't know us and you're on Spotify and you want to get to know us or be on the podcast, we could talk to you for a while. We can my Dana, do you want to say your Instagram? And for the
yeah,
YouTube listeners, I'll just put it on the screen.
yeah. So my Instagram is lower life living, all one word.
My Instagram is Mr_super_cookie. It's a little strange, but that was the name I came up with when I bought Minecraft like 8 years ago. I was like, when I get famous as a Minecraft YouTuber, I need a catchy name.
I think that was everyone's kind of whenever we're making
Mindset. Yeah.
usernames. Yeah. So when I'm Minecraft famous,
It
I
was
need something
scary. I
that I
was like,
want.
this has to be perfect.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, what is everyone who's famous now? What is their names? And I like just, I don't know. It took me
I
forever to
made
think of it.
mine after I had gotten broken up with, and I just.
That's cringe, Daniel.
I mean, it wasn't even like I don't know. I was just trying to make something that
Edgy.
was no, not even edgy. It was trying to be like how it's three different words. They all start with L, and so I was trying to do something like that.
You
It didn't
took
have to
that
be
L?
L, huh? Actually, yeah, I did. She broke up with me the
Oof.
day after New Year's, so that was
That's
fun.
tough. Wow. Did you kiss
That
on New
was
Year's? Do people actually
no.
do that? I've never heard any real stories. I've only seen it in TV. Like,
on
oh, our
TV.
New Year's
I've seen my
Eve, our
parents.
New Year's kiss.
I've seen like family do it, but I don't know.
Well, then you
I've only
can't
done
say you
it
don't know.
once,
That
and
means
that
it
was.
happens. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've only done it once, and that was last year, or I guess
Oh.
last New Year's.
I've never. I don't know. It seems strange. Like, why do you have to kiss when this year starts? You know.
Why
I
not?
guess it like, oh, our first kiss of the year. I know this is going to sound strange, but we moved to a new house a little over a year ago. I think a year and like 2 months. And I documented that I was the first person to pee in the house. So I guess it
Okay.
makes sense why someone would want to have the first kiss of the year if I was so excited to be the first one to pee in a house.
No, Jacob, that's just you. So I don't know.
That's true. I'm a little that's
odd.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
just a little.
just a little.
Where were we? See, we brought this off.
This is why I told you.
Yes, I know. Bullet points. Another segment idea. Let me see. What was another segment idea I had? All right. Well, let's finish off what we were saying. I don't know if we finished it. So yeah, if you want to be in the podcast,
yeah,
you can just get in touch with us somehow, and we'll be more than happy to talk with you and screen you. I don't know. We'll just figure out who you are for a little. Probably talk for a while, and then we'll see what we think.
Yeah. For those that are on Spotify, we're on YouTube, so if you can really catch our Instagram names there, look us up on YouTube.
Or just rewind. YouTube, I mean,
I guess, but some people are visual people. I don't know. But for those that are on YouTube, uh, if it's easier for you to listen, to, and you want to go about your day to day, we are on Spotify. Because I know, sometimes it's not convenient to listen to on
And
YouTube.
for those people who don't have Spotify and want a more convenient listening, I'm considering using SoundCloud. I don't know about that. We have, I think, one episode on SoundCloud right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about possibly getting on there because SoundCloud, I think you can listen with the app closed.
Yeah.
Which is way more efficient. And Spotify, you don't have to, I mean, SoundCloud, you don't have to download or get an account or anything like that to listen to stuff. So I think that'll
Let us
be
know. Yeah.
pretty useful.
If that's what you guys want, then we can definitely
Just let us know.
Yeah, we can do that.
Anyways, yeah, like I was saying, segments. Some other segment ideas. I was thinking we could have like one where we talk about like a specific movie, like both of us, or a book or anything. Both of us like watch it together or read it sometime, or like a segment of a story, something like that, and we could just talk about that. Because right now everyone's sort of locked away. If you're not at school, you're just at home, or if you're not at work, you're just sitting at home probably doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I think movies, books, whatever, all these different medias are great ways to pass the time. So just for us to put some recommendations out there, we could like one thing I like YouTube. I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately. I think I talked to Daniel about this before. There's like some accounts, like just last night, I fell asleep to this one YouTuber that I watch anytime a new video comes out. I'm quick to watch it. His name is Summoning Salt. It's a bit of a niche topic, but he talks about video game speedrun records, like the history of like when the speedrunning started and the battle for the record and where it stands now. But he talks about mostly older games like NES games and GameCube games and stuff like that. Like one of my favorite videos of his was about Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which is a game that my dad used to play when he was a kid and I played when I was a kid. So I always thought it was fun. And when I watched that video, the way he portrays these things is really interesting. And that one's especially interesting because there wasn't really a speedrunning scene for it. And then when it started, the people speedrunning found these records online of this guy who had like all the top times. So really, the goal was not just to beat the game as fast as you could anymore. It was to beat his times because some of his times were like frame perfect. You could not get lower times. So there was like people were trying to find out if it's possible to beat some of his times, if some of his times were even real. And like he had crazy fast. So like sometimes there's interesting history behind these little just random tidbits of, I don't know, gaming history. Like a small game like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out wasn't a small game, but now it's not really something people talk about.
Right.
The last remnant of that game is Lil Mac in Smash Bros. And most people probably don't know what he's from. But yeah, that account has lots of videos on all that sort of stuff, like Ninja Gaiden, just all these games. And I think it's a really interesting watch if you just want something, if you're kind of, I guess, a bit of a nerd and care about that stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I just went off on a tangent about Stranger.
A little bit.
Is there anything you've been watching? I think what was it? What was that account you told me about?
Yeah, Donut Media. So as I said a couple minutes ago, I've been really getting into the car scene. And I've been watching Donut Media even before that. But so essentially what they do and what they talk about is cars, but like they have it's really just a group of guys that kind of came together and they formed this small little company.
Do they have like a shop or something? Or
Yeah.
I feel like I might have actually heard
like
about
a
them. I think I
mechanic
said
shop?
I hadn't. What'd you say?
A mechanic or like merch?
Merch, like
Merch,
a
yeah.
like a little car shop type thing.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have. I think I said I hadn't heard of them, but I think I might have. I don't know why you bringing it up again has like gotten the gears turning.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty popular, at least amongst, car people. So what they don't like just talk about, they talk about a lot of different things. They have scheduled throughout the week different episodes, and one of them is Science Garage, and there's this guy that just talks about the science behind certain things. So if you want to learn about brakes, he talks about brakes, turbos, suspensions, coilovers, whatever. But then there's history on cars, histories on brands or a specific car. They have little kind of shows that they do for a couple episodes, and it's a bunch of crazy stuff. I mean, they're really cool and really funny. And even if you're like not really into cars, there's just some things or that are for anyone that you can just watch and really have a fun time watching. And that's who I've been watching lately. Because they upload every single day. They're not going to for about a month because they're taking a vacation. Um, but they normally upload every single day.
Here's another random one. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Daniel. Lockpick Lawyer. Have you heard of him? He like reviews. This is so lame. I know I'm gonna sound so lame. He reviews not lockpicks, locks, and sees and talks about them like, oh, like this is like such
Oh, you know what? I've heard
a
of him. Yeah.
poor lock. Like you have no. This is not gonna. If someone wanted to steal something, they could easily get this lock off. And then he also like lock picks the locks and shows how quickly it could be done, how easily all this. It's just an interesting little. When you've got nothing else to do, just go to the lockpick lawyer.
Yeah, and I actually have heard of him.
Yeah,
I don't think I've watched any of his stuff, but I've heard of him somewhere.
yeah. I think he's had a couple of popular like small viral videos. So, but yeah, so I guess that's a little tidbit of what that segment could be. Just us giving like a general overview of a channel or a movie or a book or a show that we enjoy, and giving you guys like a general idea of what that's like so that you have some recommendations if you want any. I know lately I've had some friends coming to me asking for book recommendations or movie recommendations. So I figure I might as well just put them on here also. Yeah. Those are the two segment ideas I can think of now. I know I had other ideas, but I think, yeah, those are the only two I can think of right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, with this episode, we're trying to revamp everything, bring everything back, and so with that, we're just as, if not more, open to ideas and suggestions that you guys have. So again, if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, feel free to let us know, and I'm sure we could. if we like the idea, we'll definitely do it here.
Yeah.
Shoot, I was gonna say something else.
We've only been recording for like 35 minutes. I don't have anything in particular to say right now. If you also don't, we could just talk about whatever. Like there's something on my mind that I just want to talk about. It's not anything crazy.
Yeah, no, I think we've covered everything that we needed to cover in terms of the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it.
Okay, well this topic is again for my fellow nerds out there. This is more for my comic book nerd friends though. I read Dark Knight Strikes Again, which is like one of the more popular Batman miniseries. I think it is the most popular, and it changed like the comic book world in a way. I think it's always interesting that Marvel is like the most famous. Everyone loves Marvel, but whenever among comic book enthusiasts, I guess you could say, whenever people talk about the greatest like miniseries or stories or whatnot, it's always DC. Which is so weird. DC has a lot of crap, but they've also got a lot of really good stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so I read Dark Knight Strikes Again, and I was like, this is sorry, Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight Strikes Again is known as DK2, is what it was marketed as, Dark Knight 2. It sucks. Dark Knight Strikes Again sucks. It's like one of the worst things I've ever read. It's so bad, Daniel. I don't know. Have you ever read comic books, Daniel?
I don't think so.
Dude, It's bad. If someone was like, "Oh, I want to get into comic books. I'm really into Batman. Should I get these two?" I would just be like, just get the one and forget that there even is a second. It's just
Mm.
bad.
Huh.
But yeah, I don't know what it is with Frank Miller. Frank Miller made these stories. He made
Mhm.
Dark Knight Returns and Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Mhm.
With him, for me, it's hit or miss, man. He also made this one called Ronin, which is this
Mhm.
crazy story. It's about this like, have you ever seen Samurai Jack?
I haven't watched it, but yeah.
You know the general idea,
Yeah.
like this samurai cast into the
Mhm.
future.
Mhm.
So that show is based off the premise of Ronin.
Oh, okay.
Because in Ronin, a Ronin is a samurai who has no master.
Mhm.
Um, and so this samurai's master is killed by the demon dude who's kind of like Aku from Samurai Jack.
Mhm.
And then he dedicates his life to killing the demon. And when he gets there, he impales himself in the demon, and the demon uses the last of his energy to send both of them to the future. So it's like
Hmm.
that general idea from
Mhm.
Samurai Jack also.
Oh, okay.
But that story was so good, and the art was really interesting, and I loved it. And then I had to read freaking Batman Dark Knight Strikes Again, and it was horrible. I just have to reiterate how horrible it was. And then at the end, they kind of just throw a bunch of stuff in to wrap it all up.
Mhm.
It was just so bad. I'm just gonna stop because it was just bad.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even bring up specifics 'cause I don't even remember anymore, but there was TV shows and movies that I was watching. Oh, um, This Is the End. Have you seen that on Netflix? That
This
movie?
is the end. Who's the actors?
Ah, I don't even know.
What
Do
is
you
it
know
about?
it's about this at first it was this couple and they were like in this city, and the husband goes out to the father, I believe, and ends up being some kind of like apocalypse of
Oh,
some
is this the
sort.
one where they're going to find the girl?
Yeah,
Him and the dad. I
yeah.
haven't seen it. Oh, who's the girl in it?
I
No, who's the
forgot.
dad in it? Who's the dad in it?
It's the guy from
Oh,
that the safe room. What's it
come
called?
on.
Um
All I know, there's some like apocalyptic thing going on,
mhm.
right?
Yeah, no one really knows what it
And they're
is.
trying to get to the daughter in the
Yeah.
city or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that movie.
I didn't see it, but I saw a lot about it.
Well, it
Was it
was it was okay. Like the movie up until the end was okay. It was decent, but the ending was horrible. Like
really?
there was I remember me and my mom joking about it because there was practically no ending, and the movie's called This Is the End, and we were just saying like there is no end. It just didn't end, and it was
Is it called This
um
Is the End?
mhm.
I know there's a different movie called This Is the End with Seth Rogen, and that's the only one that's coming up.
No,
Dang it. Let
I
me
think
see.
I know
This
which
is
movie
the
you're
end.
talking
Is it on
about.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I can't find it. That sucks, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I'm not
How It
finding it
Ends,
either.
How It Ends, I
Oh,
think is what it's
How It
called.
Ends.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think that might be it. Let me see. I'm searching it. How It Ends with Forrest Whitaker. Yeah.
Yeah. How It Ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we were
So like the
joking that
movie was good up until the end. I hate that. I
yeah,
hate those movies.
yeah, the ending was
Man.
horrible.
Yeah, no, with Dark Knight Strikes Again, the whole thing was horrible. The ending was just particularly bad. There's some stories that are so bad that you can't stop reading them. I love those. Those are really good because you're like, in your mind, you're thinking this can't get worse, but I need to
Right.
find out if it does. Sort of like that one really famous movie. What's The Room?
Oh,
Everyone always
wait.
talks about that one.
Was I think I know like 2 or 3 movies called The Room. Which one?
With Tommy Wiseau. You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
I'm bad with actors.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
No.
He doesn't say it like that. That's a horrible impression. Well, Tommy Wiseau is only in that movie. He directed the movie also. I think he also wrote it. Have you heard of The Disaster Artist?
Yeah. Oh, that was him?
That's no. That's James Franco, but they're playing
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau. The Disaster Artist is about
that's
the
right.
making of The Room.
That's right. I
because
forgot
it's
that's what it
known
was
as
called.
like one of the world's worst
Yeah,
movies, but people love it for that
like the
reason.
best worst movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking of that movie with
with the girl.
yeah, the girl and the kid.
Is that what's her? Is that
That's
Marvel?
yeah,
What's her name?
Captain Marvel,
Captain Marvel. I was thinking Miss Marvel. Dang.
Miss Marvel. No, isn't that DC?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the movie I was thinking.
there's Miss
Um,
Marvel in Marvel.
I think so.
She's got a little lightning bolt on her chest.
Oh, yeah. Isn't she like Shazam but female or something?
Well, actually, Captain Marvel, Shazam was Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
but Marvel was like, bro.
Yeah.
There's so much weird stuff with all that.
Shoot, I was going to talk about. Man, aren't really good to talk about. I kind of how you were talking about kind of books or movies or whatever that are bad and you just can't not watch or read it. It was kind of the same thing for me when I was in California a few years ago. I had to watch, or I think I was just alone in the hotel, and I was watching TV, and there was this movie on. Ended up being My Cousin Roxanne, I think is the title.
I've never heard of that ever.
So it's essentially like this not old timey. It's I think it came out in like 2018. But it's set to like a while like 1800s 1900s.
Okay.
And those aren't my kind of movies unless it's popular,
like timepieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like a drama, and those aren't my kind of movies, but I started watching it anyway. And that ended up being like one of the best movies I've ever watched. It was so good, and I don't know why. Again, that's not my cup of tea, but it was oh my god, it was so good. I remember my parents were coming home and like, oh, what are you watching? And I said, oh, it's called My Cousin Roxanne. And I was telling them about it. We ended up all watching it, and yeah, it was so good.
I can't think of a single movie that I thought, I don't think this is gonna be good, and it turned out to be great. Just because usually I go into movies with a. I got really close to the mic. I don't know if that was super loud. I go into movies just like I'm gonna watch a movie. Never like, oh, this movie's gonna suck or this movie's gonna be great. Just because like I want to have sort of a baseline feel when I watch the movie.
No, I agree.
What's the last movie you watched that you just didn't like? Like you were like that just wasn't good.
Oh,
Have you ever seen Pet Sematary, the like original Stephen King movie?
The original one, yeah.
There was a remake, either last year or 2 years. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And I forgot who. I think one of my friends went with us. We were at my house and we watched the original, and then we got tickets to go see the new one because we were all like, let's just go watch the new one in theaters.
Right.
Horrible.
Really?
Horrible movie. I felt bad. I felt bad for bringing my friend. It was that bad.
Ewan McGregor, wasn't he in that? Or was it
No, it was I don't remember the actor's name, but he
Oh, it was that other guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's bigger than he looks like him but bigger.
Yeah.
He was in Terminator, I think.
I can't remember what he was
Genesis or whatever. Terminator Genesis. He's in a lot of things. He's a famous actor, I think. Yeah. It just wasn't good. I did not like it. They changed it up to like I guess major spoilers for Pet Sematary right now. I don't think spoiling the new one matters because it was horrible, but I mean the old one's good, but
yeah,
it's like 40 years old, 30, 40 years old. If you haven't seen it, just mute for the next like 30 seconds. So in the original, you've seen it, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the original, the boy dies, right? Runs down the street, gets hit by the truck.
Right.
In the new one, they're having like a birthday party. And I think the boy's out in the street, and then the cat runs down the street, and the little girl runs out for the cat, and a truck comes and swerves and flips over and takes out the girl instead. And then the rest of the movie is just downhill from there. That's all I have to say. It was just horrible.
Huh. Yeah, I don't
like that was the first major difference.
Right.
And then from then on, it was like, well, like, what is happening?
That I can think of. I don't think I've watched any movies that are besides like It. I think It is the only
I didn't like the second one at
movie.
all.
Yeah, the second one wasn't good.
Too long, way too
Yeah,
long.
yeah, it was crazy long.
Yeah, they dragged that out so much.
Yeah, no,
we've
I didn't
already
like it.
gone past 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I guess finish what you're saying, then we'll wrap it up.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say I don't think I've watched any revamped movies, or like remakes besides It. But yeah, that was it.
Besides what?
Besides It.
Yeah, but well, besides what's it?
What?
Nothing.
That was horrible.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess we can stop it there. But
Yep.
Oh man, in my head I had an outro ready.
Nice.
Thanks for listening.
Great.
No. So yeah, like we were saying, remasters, what are they called? Reboots usually suck, but this Downtown Coolsville season 2 reboot. Okay, this one's gonna be good. This show or this podcast it's gonna be good. I can't think of it. Daniel, what's it? Give me a word quick.
Essentially we're just gonna make sure. Oh, dude, you threw me off track. Dang it.
Yeah. See, I don't know what it is, but I'm off of my game.
Yeah. So we're just gonna make sure that everything is just all around a better experience, quality, content, all of that. And yeah, we're just gonna make sure that we come back harder, better.
Much harder.
Oh, dude, that's such a good way of
what? We're coming back harder, better, faster,
no,
stronger.
no while you're talking at something.
What?
No, while you were talking, I had a good way of ending
Okay,
it.
well, listen, guys. Like he said, we're changing everything. Not everything. We're just upgrading everything in quality, making the podcast more refined, and hopefully it will be more enjoyable for you guys, easier to listen to, smoother to listen to, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I don't really know good. Sometimes I don't English well. It's my first and only language. But yeah, so hopefully season 2 turns out great. And we hope you continue. I'm umming a lot right now. This makes me sound like a horrible host and speaker in general.
Co-host, but
okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening, and if you guys have any suggestions, anything like that, our Instagrams are linked in description of YouTube and somewhere out there in Spotify earlier. But yeah, just let us know if you have anything you want us to talk about, talking points, segments you want us to do, anything like that. If you want to be on the podcast, let us know. I'm sure we can work that out. We're always open for ideas and suggestions.
All right. Well, my name is Jacob.
I'm Daniel.
And this is the first official end to the first episode of the second season of Downtown Coolsville. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.